From the Kelowna Now offices on Pandosy Street, this is Music Savvy with Savannah Bagshaw, taking a look at the world of music both locally and around the globe.
Okay, hi everyone, it's Savannah for Kelowna Now, and today I'm joined over the phone by Barney Bentall, who's going to be in town this weekend for Rock the Lake. Hi, Barney.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, great. Beautiful day here.
Awesome, thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited to have you in town, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about first your latest album that you put out. Can you tell us a little bit about the idea behind it and what your thoughts were when putting it together?
Well, The Drifter and the Preacher is sort of, it's funny, you work on a record and you often don't set out with some theme in mind. You just work at writing songs, and then at a certain point, those songs form a gang, and before you know it, you've got a record. And this one ended up being sort of those two songs based on my dad, who was a preacher, and then my father-in-law, who was, before he settled down, was a bit of a drifter and gold panner and rode the rails, and they're just two very central characters in my life. So it sort of seemed like a good place to hang the record on, or good themes to hang the record on.
That's awesome. Those are two very different people. So how did that work?
True.
The two contrasting sort of ideas, how did that work together to create the album?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you also, the longer you live, you realize you're a combination of, I think, influences and how you were raised, and also your just innate character. And I think maybe it was a bit of an examination of why I've made some of the choices I've made, and why I equip myself a certain way. I think it's funny, like I say, it's the longer you live, the longer you fumble along in this life, the more sometimes I think you start trying to figure out, okay, who am I, what do I want to do, what else do I want to accomplish in life, and then but it's also that's you're also a songwriter and a performer, and you just want to pursue your craft and write good songs. And I think that the closer those songs are to you and to your heart, what you're feeling, and even if they're stories, the more compelling the music's going to be. I've always been such a big fan of the band, as so many musicians are, and their records and what they did in the 60s and 70s. And yeah. I kind of pursue that sort of, it's all those same palette of instruments: drums, bass, keyboards, guitars, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, and but I know I don't really. I like country music. Mm-hmm. Probably not a huge fan of new country music in some ways. I feel that it's derivative, although it can be. I guess that criticism can be thrown at me too, but I love the old time stuff, but I like to always like artists like such as Neil Young or Tom Petty that had this great electric and acoustic mix to what they did.
What is it about that genre, that type of music with the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar playing off each other, do you connect with the most, and why do you think audiences connect with it?
I don't know. I think it's what I grew up listening to, and what really moved me. In terms of the songs, and then the energy of the guitars, bass, and drums. I don't know. So it's kind of all I've known, but I do know that I like to go between the two. Like if I just rocked out all the time, I don't think that would fill my soul the way it does if I sort of counterbalance that with more acoustic and stripped down music. I don't know. You pursue your craft in the way hopefully the way that best suits you, what you believe, what you feel, and then if you're lucky, people listen to it and it touches them and moves them. Because there's a lot of people trying to put out music these days. I wouldn't want to be starting now. I have to be honest. Like my son Dustin is his early 30s, and he's got a career going, but it's tough. There's just so many people doing it now, which is great. I mean, I think it's fantastic on one hand that so many people are getting the chance to create musically. But when we started, I mean, there weren't very many of us doing it.
Right.
It was, and I think we were lucky in that way.
Yeah, definitely. So what is it, like, you guys are still managing to stay relevant today, and, like, people are still excited to hear you're coming to town and stuff like that, especially in a day and age where you do say there's a lot of people sort of vying for the chance at musical fame. What is it about your music and, I guess, the rest of the peers that are joining you at Rockville Lake that sort of contributes to that longevity and makes people still want to come out?
Well, I know for me what's super important is that I continue to do what I continue to create new songs and put out new records. I mean, we're playing with acts there at the festival that some people are I think, content to just, they had a lot of hits and they want to just, they're happy going out and having a good time playing and doing those. That wouldn't be my pathway. That wouldn't interest me. I'd probably just do something else.
Okay.
So for me, I just have to I have to continue to make new records, and hopefully people kind of want to listen to them. So that's what keeps me in the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just going back to that new record, what about it are you most proud of when you look back on the whole process of creating it and now that it's been out?
Yeah, it's funny because at this point I just put out a lot of records, and I don't know, the playing, I felt really good about the songs. Like I feel when I played the last note on it, we mixed it, and when I got it, especially when I got it in vinyl, it's been a while since I've had a record in vinyl, on vinyl, and I looked at it and I thought, this is great. I feel really good about the song. I like the way I sang,
Yeah.
I like the fact that I don't auto-tune my voice, that I've worked a long time in singing. It's interesting times. I mean, auto-tuning is here to stay, but sometimes when I listen to old records, I think one of the nicest aspects of them, or the thing that creates a lot of musicality, is the fact that the voices and the guitars, they aren't in perfect tune, and it creates, sometimes it creates a tension or an emotional feeling. I almost find it hard to listen to stuff like that. It's too pure, and it's not done by, it's done by a machine, a piece of outboard gear rather than people.
Well, that's awesome, though. I think a lot of the people who will be in the crowd this weekend can definitely agree with you in terms of the rawness being one of the major selling points for rock and roll and
totally.
Music of your time. Let's talk a little bit about, I know people are going to be so excited to hear this one song in particular, Something to Live For. I was reading in one of these interviews that you've done that you said it's the reason you're still in music. Why do you say that?
Well, I think I was at a point in my life, I had young kids, and we had no money, and I was really at that point, I'd been working at music for, this is in the late 80s, and I've been working pretty hard to make a go of it, and I thought I really had come to that point kind of quick because I loved doing what I was doing, but I didn't, in all fairness, feel that I could continue with and help look after my family. Mm-hmm. So I was about ready to quit, and we wrote that song and we recorded it, and then all of a sudden we got a record deal with Sony, and then all of a sudden we could tour and get paid well, and so I really, without that song, I probably wouldn't still be doing this.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't because I didn't want to, like I say, it'd be because I just would have had to make another choice.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's especially like you were talking about earlier, it was a lot different back in the 80s and those times trying to make it in music, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, when we got signed to Sony, there were only 5 acts. It's ourselves, Loverboy, Celine Dion, as Larry Gowan was one, in a French-Canadian act. So that's the only people in Canada on that label. So it was great. You got a lot of attention. You know? Now the record companies are shells of what they were, and there's just so many people putting out records.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So let's talk about you're coming here. You're going to be playing in Kelowna for some fans who've been following you for years. What are they going to be able to expect from your set this weekend?
Well, hopefully a good show. I do a lot of touring with my solo band, and so it's always a thrill when I play with the Legendary Hearts. You know, we go so far back, and there's such kinship there. So hopefully people can expect a great dynamic rockin' show. And also I love it because we play all the old singles. Mm-hmm. I mean, in my shows, I don't tend to, I play a lot of the new stuff as well as the old hits, but it's a mixture there. But this will pretty much be, just a good old retrospective of our career as the Legendary Heart. So I love those shows, and I love getting back to those people. It's like it's the old cliche. It's like riding a bicycle. The 5 of us get on stage, and it's like, away we go.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're all very excited to have you here in town and to hear the old stuff, as well as hopefully we'll get to hear maybe 1 or 2 new ones. But if not, people can still listen to your album, and I'm sure they're going to love it. And thank you so much for all your insight. Really appreciate you taking time.
That was Music Savvy with Savannah Bagshaw. Feel free to give your feedback on today's show at KelownaNow.com.